the modern-day Nostradamus. If you want to hear about predictions from someone with a great track record, you don't want to miss this interview. Just like the great prophet Nostradamus, Dr. Turi was born and raised in Provence, France. He was influenced by Nostradamus' methods of divine astrology and spent many years reviving the Seer's rare method. He grew up speaking the same now disappearing dialect. In 1976, he received the highest distinction, Musicianship Award Cup, and graduated from the Royal School of Music in London. He moved to the United States in 1984 and has since established himself as a successful astrologer, author, and lecturer. In 1993, he received a metaphysical doctorate from the Progressive Universal Life Church based in Sacramento, California. His notoriety skyrocketed after rekindling, practicing, and teaching Nostradamus' rare divine astrology method, which he calls astropsychology. He has also appeared on numerous radio and television programs worldwide. Dr. Turi is known for the hundreds of accurate predictions he makes. He writes a yearly periodical with all these predictions called Moon Power Star Guide. The printing process makes the proof of his predictions totally unarguable. Hello, Dr. Turi, and welcome to the Veritas Show. How are you?
I am doing absolutely wonderful, but a bit too busy, Mel, that's all.
Well,
it's the end of the year, so my Cosmic Code newsletter is, people are rescribing for it, and I'm getting calls faster than we can proceed the orders. You know, when you serve hundreds of thousands of people, it's not an easy game. The end of the year is just a nightmare, put it this way.
Well, it's a privilege, and I have to say this right from the beginning. I have listened to my share of visionaries, and the reason why we chose you is because I have followed your work for some time, and you have an uncanny ability to see the future, and your past predictions on record prove it. For the record, this show is airing on January the 9th, 2009, so that if people listen to the show in the future and make reference to your predictions, they will know when this show was recorded.
Absolutely.
Before we start with the core of the interview, it's a real privilege to have you on our first show of 2009. I also want to congratulate you on your new and upcoming BBC radio show. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. Well, the show on the BBC will be airing every single Wednesday for anything from 2 to 3 hours, and the grand opening is on the 28th of January. We are working really hard to have everything set up, and one of the reasons that I am starting this show is because I want to be able to serve people much better, because sad enough, coast to coast, have erased me from their list of guests. And that is creating tremendous trouble, as all my supporters, and God knows I've got thousands of them, are emailing them constantly, asking them why they don't want me on the air. But you know how it is. You seem to be more confident to have me on your show. A few years ago, I was on the Jeff Wrench show. I don't know if you heard of him.
Of course.
Jeff and I am really, really good friends, and we work together for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years regularly, and I literally built this show. And one day, I made a mistake to tell him that I was considering starting my own show. Then he was honest. He was very honest with me. He says, you know what, Louis? You're my friend. I cannot put you in the air anymore because you are going to be a direct competition. And this is what's happening with Coast to Coast. So they just dropped me.
Now that you say this, you opened the can of worms, and I will continue opening it too. A few listeners of another show, and you also mentioned it, I didn't want to say it, but yes, Coast to Coast, thanked me for having you on this show. I want to give you an open forum for the next question. With such an extensive audience of millions, what do you think caused your rift between George and Tom?
Well, I personally believe that there is a misunderstanding. At the beginning, I was asking Tom, the producer, not Tom, but Lex, their web manager.
Lex Lonehood.
Their website, their website master. I was asking him if I could put for free my forecast so that a lot of people would know through my work, get some basics, because people was asking me constantly to put my prediction on my website, and that was too much work for me. So I thought, what a great idea to have my prediction on Coast to Coast show. So I made a suggestion to Lex. And of course, Lex, might have talked to Tom or George, God knows what, the management, and they turned me down. So I was not happy about this because I was offering my services literally for free because their own listeners were harassing me. And then what really upset me most is that I never had any formal dismission, no formal dismissal, like, okay, Dr. Turi, we cannot have you, we don't want you, we're not interested in you. They just invited a bunch of guests, which has, I don't want to be a big head, but not as a strong record of prediction as mine, and that created the trouble. People call me, they say, well, Dr. Turi, your newsletter goes all over the world, your predictions are all over the place, they are using your predictions, and that's no good. They should have you. So they start to harass me literally, and then I put on my newsletter, well, you talk to them. So they were literally flooded with emails of requests, and they still did not put me up there at the end of the year. And George called me, even George himself. I have his cell phone number. We used to be very close. I don't know what our situation is now, to tell you the truth. But we used to be very close, and he says, a lot of people are emailing us nonstop. We are flooded, asking me why I got rid of you on my show. I never did that, never will do that. The only error I made, is that I did not record it, because if I had George words on my recording machine, I would put it on YouTube so people would know that I'm not lying. George told me his own words were, Louis, people are complaining that you're not going to be on my show. What's going on? I would never do that. And the next thing you know, comes January, when everybody was expecting me to be there because I'm supposed to be the top of the line, they invited a bunch of people that were using my predictions instead. And that's where the trouble is. This is a serious can of worm, and people don't stop. People keep harassing me, asking me, what can we do to get you there? And finally I said, look, let's drop all this. I'm going to start my own show. And then this is where I talked to Don on BBS, and he says, okay, let's have your show going. And I believe, ultimately there is no accident. Life is a constant process of changes. So by having all these things taking place, ultimately, I would be able certainly to serve people more regularly. If they want me, well, they're going to have me for 2 or 3 hours every week. And then that was a good thing when you look at it.
I got to say, George Norrie, and I've listened to his show for years, and that's actually how I came to know you for years. It permeated on the air how much he really liked you and respected your work.
But not only this, George Norrie is constantly asked wherever he goes speaking, who is your best predictor? And I was there on the third row once. He didn't see me. I was there on the first row. And he says, well, Dr. Turi has always been the best of the best. And then, I don't know, for some reason, so people was pointing at me, and he saw me, and he says, Dr. Turi, stand up. And I got a standing up ovation. Right there in his lecture, I can't remember where it was, but it's sad. It's sad because we had such a good relationship, and I've been working with those guys, trying to build their ratings, and then they just dropped me without any formal reasons, which I understand what it is. In their mind, there can only be two reasons. The first one is that either they are afraid because I'm good at what I do if I start my own show, to take over, literally, okay? Or there is another situation where their management, what I call the conspiracy, do not want me. Art Bell hate me. Literally, Art Bell had me first in his show.
Why? Why does he hate you?
Because I put his name in